Hey, how's everybody doing? Evan here, owner of the Lombard Loft Airbnb. And on this video, I want to talk about the difference between renting and buying. And so, before I get into all the details, click that subscribe button, click that like button. Go ahead and follow us on all our social media platforms, and then get back to us with any questions or any feedback in the comments. All right, so let's get into the topic: renting versus buying. So, in a situation, that I got into Airbnb, I ended up buying a home, and then was during the time Airbnb was becoming extremely popular, and so I decided to sign up. When I signed up on the Airbnb website, one of the things I came across was a STR license number, and so clicked, the help question mark after it to find out what I needed, and come to find out, I had to reach out to the township and get a pretty much an inspection like for a landlord. And so someone from the township had to come out. They had to look around. They had to check the water, the outlets, and just make sure that the unit was habitable and livable. And it was. And so I passed, and I got this number, and then of course I had to pay. It wasn't that much, it might 25, $50, and I had to take that number and I had to put it into Airbnb, and then voila, I'm on the platform. Now, with the popularity of it, they've been changing that, meaning like only giving out a certain amount of licenses and or raising the fees to make it more like a liquor license where there's really no cost. It's just how much are you willing to pay for it type of thing. Luckily, they haven't done that here. And so it was a smooth, easy process, and I bought. And so I'm the boss, right? I mean, I don't have to worry about the building that I'm in and any type of things that can go wrong with renting. And so I pretty much did some cosmetic repairs, went live on the listing June 1st, got my first booking June 6th. I mean, that's pretty much how I went. And then just learn curve my way up until this moment. And now, number one Airbnb in my area. Now, blessed. First of all, that's just a blessing. I'm humbled, I'm honored, and I'm happy to even be in that opportunity to do this type of business. Now, it could have went differently, meaning I could have wanted to be an Airbnb, could have had an apartment, I could have rented that out. Now, if I rented the apartment out, it'd been a lot different. Will I say you spend less money? And that's the real thing I want to compare and contrast. Are you saving more money by renting than just buying? Because, and this is what I say, all right, to be in the NFL, right, you have to, prove yourself, play high school, college, possibly championships, and be the best in your field to play on that level. Now, I know that's a physical thing and that's different, but when you think of it, the mental journey of it is pretty much the same thing. You can play in the league or you cannot. And to play in the league, you have to follow steps. So I rather someone who wants to be in a business get into it where they're in charge and control, meaning they find out what they need to fix on their credit, they find out what they need to save, they put in the work, they save it, and then they get into it, and they can do it for longer by putting more work up front than just saying, all right, let me just jump in halfway, unprepared, and then end up getting out of it after wasting a lot of money. I think it's less steps, but that's just from my experience. I'm not against renting. I just think you should also buy. So because I now have one bought, I could possibly go rent one, and then that'll increase the number exponentially because I have a base. And a lot of times people don't set themselves up with a solid base. So the house I bought that I use for Airbnb is my base. Everything grows off of that, right? And so as long I know I have that, I'm in a mortgage for 30 years. And so it is possible with that money bringing in that I can use that to get another unit, and then use that money get another unit. And it's like the BRRR method in real estate. If you guys are familiar, I guess they could call it something else. But so it's working pretty decently on that level for the buying. So I wanted to bring up this document that I saw online that will make it bigger, that was talking about just that, buying versus renting. So let's say I'll read from the big top. So it says here, when people, and this is on Bigger Pockets too. So if you don't know, Bigger Pockets is a pretty much a very informational, um, rental website that pretty much does this. They explain things, they break stuff down, they give you examples, they have it's a forum. First of all, they have templates, and and it really really helps. And so I watched a lot of the Bigger Pockets YouTube videos, and then I spent a lot of time on the Bigger Pockets website. It's kind of like just, like a Facebook, just reading stuff and seeing what other people are doing and just level setting. Facebook has gotten better at this as far as just people sharing stories, but I still go to Bigger Pockets when it comes to the official information. So let me start here. So it says, when people think about starting an Airbnb business, one of the first excuses that comes to mind is not having enough capital to buy one or multiple properties. I'm writing this post to dispel that belief that you need to own a property to run a successful Airbnb business. So let me reread that. I'm writing this post to dispel the belief that you need to own a property to run a successful Airbnb business, and also prove that renting is more profitable. Okay. So here we go. Buying a property. So starting capital 25,000, purchase price 200,000, down payment 20,000, 10% best scenario. Furniture and admin startup cost 3,000. P&I, PMI, taxes, etc. 1250 a month. Business expenses 750 a month. Revenue 3,000 a month. Cash flow 1,000. Okay. So a couple things here, right? So buying a property, yes, starting capital, the more the better. If you're a first time home buyer, you can use FHA program, right? For owner occupied. And so then you're only going to put 3%. Here, he put down 10%. So 3% at 200,000 is $6,000. So, I mean, you have an opportunity to use FHA, $6,000, and purchase a $200,000 home, right? And then, right here, you're down to 6,000, right? Or less. This may be applicable. So you're 6 and 3 is 9, right? And then let's say, I guess this is first months. So this will be 10, 10,250 plus business expense. So you're talking about 13,000, right? So right here, your whole startup is 13,000. Now here on your monthly, it's still saying your monthly is 2,000, and then you say your revenue is 3,000 a month, cash flow 1,000. So here your starting capital is only 13,000. So here, if you had starting capital at 25,000, you would have 12,000 left over to just pay the bills. And then also the part that they're not talking about is your net worth, your tax shelter, and then also your the property value increases, right? Your equity in the house goes up. I mean, and so you're actually coming out in a lot better. I mean, you could take the 12, you do that. The first time you have the 25, you could take the 12 and get a second place, or you could get into the rental business. You can have one purchase, one rented, and then run them both at the same time. And so that's the things I'm saying. And so he's not wrong. So this guy, when he's breaking this down, he probably already owns a property, can't do FHA in that state. Now, if you do a FHA in one state, you can do a FHA. It has to be 90 miles outside of where your FHA is. So you can go to another state, FHA, and go another 90 miles, another FHA. So you can continue doing that in vacation rental areas. And that's what I believe a lot of people might be doing in these vacation rental areas. Uh, so, so that's one way to do it. So rental. And so rental would be same thing. Starting capital 25,000. So here it says purchase price 0. Okay. Down payment 500. So I don't know what state he's in where he just has a down payment of $500. But any place that I know on the East Coast, your down payment is going to be 1 month's rent, or plus security deposit. So if it's probably gonna run you $2,000 a month. So you're gonna have to come with $4,000, right? So here your down payment should be 4,000. Startup cost, it says using furnished apartment and not including rent. admin costs. So 1,500 rent, utilities, and so 1,450 is a lot low. I think it's more like 1,650. And then it says business expense 750 a month and revenue 3,000. Now the revenue is the only thing I agree on. You're gonna make that 3,000 a month, but damn, such a low cash flow. He need to get his expenses down. He need to break. He didn't break down what these 750 is, but if it's property management, I mean, property management is only going to run you 200 at the most, and that's a really active, property management unit. If he's talking about your gas, electric, the Airbnb markets it on their own. So I don't think you would even spend 750. I don't spend 750 a month. Um, so so if I had to change all this, so your rent and utilities is gonna be 2,000. I'll leave his expenses here. So he's talking about 2,750 a month. So to me, he's not making. Oh, and then here he didn't put rent on this part. He didn't put rent. He didn't put rent. He put down payment, admin costs, cash flow. He didn't put monthly rent. Your rent on a purchased house is going to be lower than um a rental. So if your his rent on a 200,000, and 200,000 is low for a house. I just want y'all to know that. So his rent will probably be around $800. So even if he was making 3,000 a month, he's still making 20. What I say, 800 a month, maybe 1,000 a month. I'll just say 1,000 a month. So he's still kicking off enough to pay his rent and make profit. With a rental, he's not, because, like I said, you're paying way more than 1,450. So he says total capital used 4,200, leftover capital 20,000. That's what he said, but I'm saying different. I'm saying that you're gonna have to put down 4,000, so you're gonna have 21 left. Your startup costs with furniture wouldn't it would be another 3,000. It would be another 3,000. So now you're down to 60. I'll just say you're down to 17 or 18,000. Then your rent, I'd say your rent 2,000. Business expenses 7,500, so you're down to 16. And so I'm saying he's left over with about 16, maybe less. Yeah, okay, I'll say that. I'll say that. So that's just the rental. But then, so this is the thing. So then, let's say you rent, and then let's say you get one or two bookings, and then let's say your landlord finds out, and then let's say your landlord is like, "All right, you violated the terms of your lease, no Airbnb, and now you have to move out, get all that stuff out of there. You gotta either take it back or sell it, or so you can get into a lot of trouble." With that, because I mean, when we did some Airbnbs in California, I mean, and it was literally like, hey, the keys are hitting on the pipe over by the parking spot, or the grocery store across the street has a lockbox, and that lockbox is your key, and here's a number, or text me and I'll come over and give you the key. Like, there's so much stuff going on where people are trying to work around their landlord. To me, it just gets too much, because sometimes you get bad stays, your neighbors complain, they just, it's just too much when you're trying to run um, a rental. If it's not doesn't have its own entrance and exit, if it's in a metered building, if it's in a larger building, it's just you're going to run into a lot of problems. So then you could spend, I'll just say on the rental, let's say you spend $6,000 setting it up, and then you only got it going for 2 months, and then that first month was a curve, so you only made 1,800. The second month, you got a ton of bookings, your landlord kicks you out, and then you can't accommodate them. So I'd rather just buy, be in charge, and do business longer with less worries. And that's really what it is. It's about your peace of mind. So look, this is just one scenario that I broke down. Please do understand that every situation is different, and please understand that every state is different. What works in my state might not work in yours. What works in yours might not work in mine. It's about knowing your business and minding your business and improving your business. And remember, on the other video, I said in order to make a fortune at Airbnb, you have to become a better host. And things like these, and just comparing, and then also doing the work is how you make the fortune, how you become a better host, and how you get better ratings and listings. So look, this is just some breakdowns renting versus buying an Airbnb. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please click that like. Please click that subscribe. Follow us on social media, Instagram at the Lombard Loft. My name is Evan. Until the next video, wealth and health, y'all. See you on the next one.